asked Google and ChatGPT the other day, how many biographies have been published about Winston Churchill? You really can't get a straight answer, but the number is well over 1,000. Absolutely no surprise there. When you're talking about Churchill, you're talking about the #1 history superstar of the 20th century. I've read a handful of those 1,000 books. The ones that stick in my mind are by William Manchester, Martin Gilbert, and Roy Jenkins. Recently, I picked one up that came out in 2018, and it's a good one. It's written by a man named Andrew Roberts, and its title is Winston Churchill, Walking with Destiny. The book covers his entire life and fits it all into a single volume. That means it goes from his birth in 1874 to his death in 1965. And that is a lot of ground to cover. The first thing you have to know about this book is that it is very, very long. It comes in at over 1,000 pages. And it's crystal clear that Andrew Roberts did a ton of research. He pays a lot of attention to details. I think that there are two things that contribute to the length of this book. The first is that Andrew Roberts quotes a lot of Churchill's writings and speeches. I guess he can hardly avoid doing that. Let's face it, Churchill's use of the English language is absolutely great. The second thing that adds to its length is that it covers a lot of Churchill's informal conversations, even the ones at dinner parties. And maybe there's a little too much of that. On the other hand, it certainly makes Churchill more human and gives some insight into the way he thought about things. Now, Roberts doesn't try to explain away Churchill's many mistakes, and he made a bunch, but Roberts does furnish the historic context for those mistakes. Okay, he made a bunch of mistakes, but he seems to have gotten more stuff right than wrong, and that is what makes him a superstar. Based on what I've said so far, you can tell that this book isn't a dry recital of historical facts. It also includes vivid descriptions of Churchill's personality and his personal life. It discusses Churchill's eccentricities and his complicated relationships with his family, his friends, his enemies, and, the ton of people that he worked with over the course of his life. The book punctures a lot of the myths that have risen up around this guy. Plus, he takes on a number of the controversies that apparently have arisen in the UK in recent years. All that absolutely amazes me. You can watch Andrew Roberts discuss this stuff with Douglas Murray in a video on YouTube. If I can figure out how to do it, I will try to link that at the end of this review. I've got to say that if you're a Churchill fanboy, and I sure am, you're going to mainline this book. Just be prepared for a long siege. Winston Churchill, Walking with Destiny, Andrew Roberts. See you next week.